Never fear, Bama fans. Richard Young is here. I'm going to tell you why Bama's new running back one will make waves down in Tallahassee. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides. Cotton here. And we're about to talk some Bama football. Specifically, we're going to talk the running game. Before we get there, I need you to leave a big Roll Tide in the comment section. Tell me where you're watching from. While you're there, like, subscribe, do all the things. You can find us on social media everywhere at Way Offsides. That's Way with 4 A's. Tell them, Skip.
Way, this is all caps, W-A-A-A-A-Y, Way.
Thank you, Skip. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it. You know I don't want you to subscribe, so subscribe. Alabama is faced with a challenge, an unexpected challenge, going down to Tallahassee here in 12 days to face off against the vaunted Florida State Seminoles, who went 2-10 last season. They bring in Tommy Castellanos at quarterback. The Vols fans, or excuse me, Vols, good Lord, the FSU, the Noles, I should say, fans are feeling cocky for one reason, and that's because news was released yesterday via Kalen DeBoer that running back number one, Jam Miller, would likely not be at that game due to an upper body injury. We now know that that's likely a collarbone injury. We don't know the significance. Could be a dislocation, could be a break. Either way, undisclosed return time, right? So next man up mentality, of course, as always in Tuscaloosa. However, I've seen a lot of Alabama fans, especially over on X, saying that they're picking FSU now, which is absolutely stupid and tells me that you don't, first of all, you don't watch our show. You don't watch any content, to be honest, because folks have been telling you all offseason how good and stacked Alabama's running back room is. Now, I get it. I've said this myself. The biggest question is who's going to be best picking up blitzes, right? That's something Jam Miller was really good at. However, when it comes to the other responsibilities of a running back, especially catching the ball in the backfield, all of these guys can do it. A.K. Deere is young. He still needs to grow into the position, but Bama's got 3 guys that can play the position well. And to be honest, they don't need to rush for 150 yards to beat FSU. I think that they will. I think they absolutely will. You've got Dre Washington, the transfer from Louisiana. Obviously, Daniel Hill, who I just did a video, he's a little bit shorter, almost the same freaking size as Derrick Henry. The guy's a truck, right? And then Richard Young, who is the odds-on favorite to be named the starting running back leading into that game against FSU until Jam Miller gets back. That does not mean that Daniel Hill could not be the starter. It doesn't mean that Dre Washington could not be the starter. I don't know. You don't know. Only Kalen DeBoer will know when the time comes. But assuming it is Richard Young, I don't understand why everybody's freaking out. Richard Young, 4-star running back, the number 4 running back in his class, committed to Alabama on September 29th of 2022. Right, 95 overall rating. The guy is out of Lee Acres, Florida, Lee Senior High School. Shorter than what we would typically want at running back, but 5'11", 194 reminds me very, very much of a Josh Jacobs style running back. Young just had a lot more hype coming out of high school. He enters his, I believe his sophomore year at Alabama, and the expectations for him were already high anyway, knowing that Jam Miller was going to be the starter. And this is where I can't comprehend what these fans are thinking, because everybody thought that Richard Young was going to have a really good year at number 2. So all of a sudden, if he's going to be number 1, he's not. I don't understand that mindset. I don't get it. I'll tell you what happened. Everybody got really, really hyped when they saw the footage or the video of the picture with Mark Ingram and Jam Miller, and saw how jacked he is. He's going to be back. He's going to be back at some point in time. He'll be back hopefully. I don't want to say probably, hopefully before SEC play. But now we're rolling with Richard Young. In my opinion, he will be your running back one leading into the season, and I'm confident in it. He's a one cut and go type of running back that's powerful enough to get it done between the tackles, according to 247 Sports. You want to tell me that he hasn't gotten better since he's been in Alabama? You don't know what you're talking about. Justice Haynes, who a lot of you guys have been kind of dragging. I did a funny post on X about Justice Haynes and how it kind of stings that he transfers. That was a joke, by the way. But a lot of you were just in the comment section were just, well, he sucked. He wasn't good. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. Well, anytime Richard Young's touched the field, he's shined. Absolutely shined. I mean, I did a highlight video of him from last year over on X. Really, if you're not following me on X, you probably need to. Of some of his play, and he looked really good. I don't understand the concern here. Last season in 2024, a lot of this was in mop-up duty. I will say 7 carries for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Folks, that's a first down every 2 carries. This was a coveted guy coming out of high school who had offers from everybody. Again, number 4 running back in his class. He's a top 100 guy coming out of high school, top 15 in the state of Florida. We all know the kind of talent Florida produces. Richard Young is going to be fine at running back for Alabama. He's going to be fine. It's the other side of this is very interesting to me because I saw a lot of folks leading up to the season. I was kind of hyping up Jam Miller like everybody else was because we're excited. And a lot of folks were like, well, I hope he can do this because he couldn't do this before. I hope he could do this because he sucked at this. He sucked at that. But now that he's not going to play the first few games, it's all doom and gloom. I don't understand your ideology. I don't understand your thought process. Get on the train or get run over, bro. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, Richard Young, Alabama has 4 capable backs, 3 that I know are capable of being starting running backs just about anywhere else. One of them freaking was. And then you've got A.K. Deere, who I think could potentially make some noise, but he's young, right? Daniel Hill, that guy's a freak of nature. Him coming into this game, let's say Richard Young is a starter, Daniel Hill coming into this game behind him is going to shock some people. It's going to make some defensive coordinators very antsy because of his size. He's a big dude. I think he's like 6'1", 244, something like that. Absolutely nuts. So you've got now this 1-2 punch in Richard Young, Daniel Hill, however it pans out, maybe even Jalen Washington. Alabama's going to be fine at the running back position. You've got FSU, Louisiana Monroe, Wisconsin, a bye week, and then Georgia. So you've got 4 weeks. I will say this, just based off of what I know, assuming it's a broken collarbone, you're looking at 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere in there. So we'll see whenever Jam Miller can get back. But if there was a position that Alabama could lose somebody, it was at the running back position, 100%. That is the most deep position they have on their roster. Not to say they're not deep anywhere else, but the running back room is extremely talented. So much so that I do believe they have the most stacked and talented and deep running back room in the country out of anybody. And I'm not saying that out of bias because it's Alabama. It's just true. It's just 100% true. The guys that they have there could be starting everywhere else. Well, not everywhere, but in a lot of other places. And I think Richard Young is the prototypical kind of Alabama back, and I think he's going to show out down there at FSU. I don't think the offensive game plan that I've kind of been imagining for FSU changes much. I think Alabama's really going to go with that ground and pound and try to figure it out on the ground, test that offensive line, get the running game going. Not to mention, and I think Nick Kelly posted this earlier today, I think a lot of people look at Alabama now under Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb as this air raid type offense. That's not the case. At Washington, I believe it was at Washington, they had their number 1 running back go down in the preseason. And guess what? Their second string running back rushed for over 1,000 yards. Alabama's going to be fine. Stop panicking. Take a deep breath. If FSU fans think that they were going to beat Alabama because Jam Miller's not playing, that's on them, man. That's not the scariest thing Alabama's got to bring to the table. Not even close. Not even close. This ain't Alabama from 20 years ago where they're just going to run. They're going to run. They're going to try to run, but they're also going to sit back there and pick you apart. You don't need Jam Miller to do that. You've got backs who at this level can catch the ball out of the backfield, who hopefully can pass block. That's my biggest concern. I don't see an excuse for Daniel Hill. He's the size of a Mack truck, so why not? But I feel like Bama's in a good spot. And everybody needs to take a deep breath and watch what happens in 12 days when the Tide rolls down to Tallahassee. Thanks for sticking around with me. You know I love you guys. Let me get a big Roll Tide down there in the comment section before you leave. Sexy. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.